Good evening, everyone. Dr. Staci here. I am so excited you decided to join me this evening on Tuesday nights, LifeWave Science and Technology Zoom. I am super excited to share information with you about LifeWave's technology, how it works, how it can help you. And of course, towards the end, I do always answer all of your questions, or as many as I can get to in the chat. But before we get started, I want to make sure you understand that I am not a medical doctor. I am not your doctor. I have a PhD in integrative medicine and I have a PhD in functional medicine. So for the last 20 years, I have focused in the holistic world of healing and health and different types of modalities. And so the information that I'm sharing with you tonight about LifeWave is not intended to treat or cure or diagnose anything that's going on with you. And I know you're going to ask me questions about what's going on with you. And so we definitely want to stick to the symptoms that you are experiencing, not necessarily the diseases or syndromes that you are dealing with. If you have questions about your health, please check with your healthcare practitioner or your medical doctor. They can be able to assist you best in what's going on with you. And of course, if you're on meds or pregnant or nursing, check with your doctor as well too. Okay, so I'm going to give you a basic overview of LifeWave's patches. I'm going to talk to you about our X39, our stem cell activation patch, and really kind of give you the background and history of that and what it does and how it can help you. So if you have questions about other patches, we can definitely talk about those as well too. I'll mention my top two faves, but I want you to know that we're really going to focus on this technology with the X39, the stem cell activation patch. If you're a guest tonight, thank you for being here. Thank the person that invited you. I know I'm super grateful for April that invited me to hear about this technology almost 3 years ago when I was looking for anything and everything to help my daughter improve her quality of life from a brain injury that she had had 12 years before that time. So no matter if it's something that's happening to you right now in the immediate situation, or maybe something that's chronic you've been dealing with for a long time, this technology gives you the ability to be able to improve your quality of life, to be able to improve your situation, your circumstances, and to be able to live your best life in the life that you have here. So let's get right into what this technology is. This is a non-transdermal patch. It looks like a little round Band-Aid, honestly. Looks like I have a little dog hair on one corner of mine. I have two dogs. Who knows which one that belongs to? I've got a Frenchie, well, French English, and a poodle. So this patch works for them too, but this one's been on me today, so I don't know how they have a dog hair on it. But this patch is non-transdermal, meaning nothing's entering into my body. You're probably familiar with transdermal patches. That are patches that are transferring a chemical, a medicine, a nutrient into your body through the skin. You know your skin is your largest organ, and so anything you put on your skin, whether it's a lotion or a gel, something like that, that's going to transfer in. Your nicotine patches, your birth control patches, your weight loss or hormone patches, all transfer something in through the skin. Well, this doesn't work that way. Okay, this is a wearable light technology, and that means that nothing is entering into the body except light. Now, I'm sure you're probably familiar with the sun. If you go out in the sun during the day, light enters the body, correct? You can tell from my skin that I went for a walk today. You can see that I have a little bit of a tan, and that's from the increase of melanin in my skin from the sun. It's actually a great sunscreen protectant. But also we know the sun's light elevates vitamin D in our body. I have a sauna, an infrared sauna in my gym outside in the shop, in the garage. And so that sauna, when I sit in it, wavelengths of light are entering my body. I don't see them or feel them, just like I didn't feel the sun entering into my skin today. But we know that if I push the button that says anti-aging, then wavelengths of light will enter in my body and help me to anti-age. I can push a button that says pain relief, and that'll help with muscle soreness and stiffness. I can push a different button that says cardiovascular benefits, and a different wavelength of light will enter in my body and help with my cardiovascular system. I know my son Trey asked me about a month or so ago. He said, "Can I just sit in a sauna for 45 minutes on cardio and not have to actually do any cardio? Is that going to be the same results?" And I'm like, well, not exactly the same, but it does help your cardiovascular system. So I'm sharing this with you because light creates change. And this is a wearable light technology that creates change. We call that photobiomodulation. Now, you don't need the sun. You don't need a sauna. You don't need a laser or cold laser, red light therapy, blue therapy. You don't need any outside light source. We are the light source. If you put your hand on your chest, you're about 98.6 degrees. And so that heat that you emit is actually measurable. We call that a low-level infrared light. Now, I live here in Florida. It's dark outside right now, so I can go outside and I can look down the road. I can't see neighbors. I can look off into the woods, and thank goodness I can't see what's growing on around out in there. We have panthers and bobcats and alligators and snakes and boars and all that kind of crazy stuff in the woods. I can't see any of that unless I was looking through night vision goggles. If I look through night vision goggles, I can see the person or the animal because of the thermal imaging. I can see their colors, the red, green, yellow, blue, orange, whatever colors they may be from the heat or light that they're emitting. So if you understand that, it's going to be super simple and easy to understand how this technology works. We are the light. We are the power source. And so when we put this patch on our body's light hits that patch. And that reflects back a specific wavelength of light into our body. This patch, the white part right here, has a reflective lattice in it. That's what David Schmidt has invented, a crystalline lattice structure that's reflective, that's inside of this patch. Nothing enters my body when I put this on. Watch, I want you guys to watch. See if you see anything. Do you see any beams of light shooting out? Did you see anything happening at that time? No, nothing happened, right? So we don't see it, we don't feel it, but we know that our light immediately hits this patch and reflects back a very specific wavelength of light. How do we know that? How can we even say that? Well, it's measurable. You can measure this. We actually have clinical studies. I want to share a website with you in the chat, and it's startx39now.com. That website gives you all of our clinical studies. So you can see right there in front of you, double-blind, placebo-controlled, independent studies, peer-reviewed studies about our X39 and what happens when you put this patch on. And that's what I'm going to share with you next because it's pretty powerful. Thank you, Heidi, for putting that in the chat. So that site's going to tell you all the nitty-gritty and the nooks and crannies of the studies if you're interested. But here's what happens. I get up in the morning, I put this patch on, I brush my teeth, right? Go about my day, leave it on 12 hours, then I take it off and I throw it away. Or obviously, as you can see, this one may have picked up some pet hair. You can put it on your pet if you want to. And then the next morning, tomorrow, I'm going to get up and I'm going to put on a brand new patch while I'm brushing my teeth. I'll leave it on 12 hours and I'll take it off and then I'll throw it away. Day after day, week after week, month after month. So what's happening when I put that patch on? What is happening that we're measuring? What is going on inside of the body? So what David invented, like I said, is what's in this white part, that lattice structure. And that lattice structure is made up of a proprietary blend, okay? We have a 20-year patent on this patch. A proprietary blend of organic amino acids, oxygen, sugars, and water. Now, not from your pantry, not amino acids from your pre-workout, not sugar from the cabinet, but molecules that form together a very specific way to make this reflective lattice. And so when we put that on, our light hits it and reflects back a wavelength of light that elevates a very specific peptide. Now I want you to write this down. This peptide is called GHK-CU. GHK-CU, copper peptide. That peptide is the fountain of youth. I don't know if you guys are interested in that, but I know I am, right? I'll be 50 this year. So the fountain of youth, sign me up. Well, we know GHK declines as we age. And so this patch, when you put it on in the morning, immediately it starts to elevate that GHK. In those studies, we can see that in the blood work of people in our studies. We can see the elevation of GHK. Now, we don't have a whole lot of time to get into all the benefits of GHK, but I always like to share this with you. I'm a reader. I'm a huge reader. If you guys saw my Facebook page today, I just gave a little review on another book that I finished. Getting ready to start another book tomorrow when I hop in the car. I listen to them on audio or I read them in person if I happen to be on an airplane. But I love to read. And so I always recommend books because I feel like knowledge, well, applied knowledge, is power. And I apply that knowledge. So this patch elevates a peptide called GHK-CU, copper peptide. And that peptide was discovered 53 years ago by a man named Dr. Lauren Picard. He should really have a Nobel Peace Prize for that, because when you guys learn the benefits of this peptide and what it does, you'll understand why this man deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. But that peptide, he has spent 53 years researching, doing clinical studies and research. Go to PubMed, type in GHK-CU. You'll see tons of just research papers, right? Type in GHK-CU, Dr. Lauren Picard. 50 years. I'll be honest with you, this will give you a good indicator right here. A lot of them have been taken down off the internet the last several years. They were there when I started LifeWave 3 years ago, but they've been taken down since. I wonder why they would take down some of Dr. Picard's key research on the benefits of GHK. We'll just leave that right there, okay? That'll give you a key indicator of how powerful GHK is. Well, the only way you can get GHK is to inject it. Luckily, we're not doing that. It took David 10 years in the lab, but he figured out how to elevate GHK with light. So this is a great book to talk about the skin, the benefits of elevating GHK, and also to reset your genes to a younger, youthful, healthier state, which I'm going to talk about here in just a second. But I also have to recommend another book, Dr. Harmon. I know many of you were in Orlando this weekend and you got to see Dr. Harmon. He signed your book for you. Many of you won these books this weekend. I love this book. He took Dr. Lauren Picard's research, he took David's research, and he created this easy to read and understand book. You can pick this up on Amazon. Like I said, I don't have time to get into all of it, but I love that Dr. Harmon has broken this down into simple, easy to understand and read chapters. Like this, the benefits of GHK on the immune system. So if we elevate GHK, we're going to have immune system benefits. The benefits of GHK and the skin. The benefits of elevating GHK for cardiovascular health. We know with this patch, the X39, in our studies, every 6 weeks of patching, your vascular system functions 8 weeks younger. We can see that in research. That's mind-blowing. What's going to happen for your heart over the next 12 months? Boom, 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 right? Reverse aging right there. We can see cardiovascular benefits in exercise, athletic performance with the GHK, recovery. We can see GHK benefits with metabolic regulation. The brain. If you saw my YouTube videos last November with Dr. Don Verhulst, he's a medical doctor on my team. We spent 4 weeks deep diving into elevating GHK for the brain, for cognition, for neurodegenerative types of issues. Huge benefits in the brain. One of my other favorite studies with the brain and the X39. We can see at that 6-week mark, again, there's something pretty significant about hanging on there for at least 6 weeks, the changes in the brain and anxiety and stress, the brain coming into balance. We're looking at EEGs and we're being able to look at brain mapping and say, wow, look at the coherence in the left brain and right brain. Fantastic studies. We can see benefits of GHK and the activation of genes. And when we activate our genes, this patch on the morning, again, you don't see it, you don't feel it, but we have over a third of our genes that are upregulated or reset back to their young, youthful, perfect, healthy state. There's a lot that goes on from that. But one of the things is the activation of your own stem cells, the mobilization, the elevation of your own stem cells. So this patch isn't putting stem cells in your body, right? This is just reflecting back a wavelength of light that elevates that peptide GHK, that in turn activates and elevates and mobilizes your own stem cells. All this is happening while you're brushing your teeth in the morning and going about your day throughout the day. And you're not seeing it or feeling it, but it's happening. And what happens is we start to see changes in the body over time. Your own stem cells go to work to repair and regenerate whatever's needed in your body in whatever order. This is an injection. We're not injecting stem cells into our area that's hurting, like our shoulder or our knee or our back. We are activating our own. We are resetting them. We are helping them to become young and youthful again. And your young, youthful, healthy stem cells go to work to repair and regenerate whatever is damaged, whatever is not functioning correctly, whatever is old and tired and worn out. So here's what happens. When you're born, you have an egg and a sperm that come together, right? They frolic and stem cells are made. And so those cells turn into different types of body parts, right? Your heart, your kidney, your livers, your lung, your eyes, your connective tissue. When you're born, some of those cells stay changeable. The rest are what they are, right? Your heart cells stay the heart cells. The kidney cells stay the kidney cells. But some are what we call pluripotent. They turn into anything that's needed to help repair. Think back to when you were a kid. You had boundless amounts of energy. You could sleep in a crowded room just like that. Your mind was always on fire. You were always on the go. You were learning, go, go, go. If you were riding your bike and you fell down and you hurt yourself, you just get up and take off running again, right? Fall out of a tree, break a bone, never miss a beat. You're back at it. Well, think about if grandma falls out of bed. She may not get up. Why is that? What happened from age 5 to age 95 or 5 to 65? What happened in that time range? Well, our stem cells decline as we age. They become dormant. They get tired. They get worn out. They've done all they could do. I don't know if you guys realize this or not, but by the time you're in your 30s, you have half of your stem cells that are active. Half. You're like, that's middle age? No, that doesn't sound good. But by the time you're in your 60s, 90% are dormant. 90. That means 10% are active, helping you to repair and regenerate what's needed. That's why we see the degeneration process in the body. And so what this does is it elevates that GHK, which has all the benefits that it does, and it activates and mobilizes and elevates our own stem cells. They go to work to repair and regenerate. They go to work to reverse functionality of our organs, our cells, and our tissues to help bring your body back into balance over time. This is not a quick fix. This is not put this patch on for 30 days and 30 years of problems are gone, okay? We are talking about regenerative medicine. Did you know David holds over 150 patches? He shared on Saturday that he stopped counting after like 135, just because he didn't, just to stop counting. His uncle held that many, and he's like, I don't know. I'm just gonna, whatever, however many I have. I don't want to pass him, but then really I do. But over 70 of them are in regenerative medicine and stem cell technologies. That's pretty powerful. I don't even have one patent. I've never even invented one thing. I didn't get any of those brain cells. I don't know where they are, but I think he got most of them because he has 150 patents. So many things, and so many things coming in the future that he has invented and is going to invent as well too. But these patches work with your body to help your body get into balance. And that time frame depends on your age and your health goals and needs and things that are going on with you. So it's very different for every person. This is not a cookie cutter. Oh, you're going to have these results in 2 days and 10 days and 20 days and 3 months. It's not like that. Every single one of us, there's 350 of us on here right now. There is no one person that has the same thing going on physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. We are all different. And so the beautiful thing is the body knows how to heal itself. That is amazing. Your body knows how to heal itself. When you put this patch on, your body knows exactly what needs to be addressed first. I interviewed a couple people earlier today in Europe, and they said, oh, just the level of joy, just the level of happiness in a couple days, just my overall well-being. I just felt better. And then another said, I have so much more energy. I just have so much more vitality. It's like, brain fog cleared, right? Pain reduction, better quality of sleep, faster wound healing. All of those things are pretty common in the beginning, especially around the first 3 to 6 weeks. But what happens over time as we use the patch day after day, week after week, month after month, we really start to check off those bigger things off our list. And don't get me wrong, pain's a really big thing, right? We know that about 70% of the population is in some kind of pain, whether it's knee or ankle or wrist or back or neck or something. There's pain somewhere in the body. And we know pain is stuck energy, whether it's from an accident, whether it's from an injury, or let's be honest, whether it's from our mind. Stress creates pain in the body. Mental and emotional stress creates pain. And so when this patch, as I mentioned earlier, works with your brain, it works to rewire, refire those new neural networks and pathways. We really start to see changes, especially the longer we patch, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And now that may seem too crazy, too good to be true. Doesn't make sense, but I'm telling you, it's real. We can see it in studies and we can hear it in the hundreds of thousands of people that have been using this patch since it's been on the market the last 4+ years. And so please understand that that compound effect is real. And we recommend your starting point to be 1 month for every decade you are old. So if you're in your 40s, we recommend at least 4 months to wake up all those dormant stem cells. If you're in your 50s, 5 months, 66 months, 77 months, and so on. I always say, stop patching when you want to start aging again. Why would I say that? Because the facts are out. The longer you patch, the more reversal you have in the functionality of your organs and cells and tissues, which is just a direct reflection of what we see on the outside. Like I said, I'm going to be 50 this year, but when you look at my organ function and my cells and my systems in my body, we're looking at a 25-year-old. And for me, this is about prevention. This is about vitality and longevity and overall wellness, and knowing that my heart is functioning as a 25-year-old, my brain, my kidneys, my liver, my lungs, all my endocrine system, my immune system, my digestive system, all of that's functioning half of my age. That's pretty powerful when you think about aging. Those books that I mentioned, I just finished reading. One of them was called Outlive, and the other was called Lifespan. And they're both about reversing age. They're both detailed. They're really good, written by 2 different doctors, one medical doctor, a cancer surgeon, and the other a PhD neuroscientist. But very incredible information out there on reversing age. They both talk about stem cells, but all they know to be true is stem cell injections, which are tens of thousands of dollars, invasive, could have some side effects, right? Potential risks, and no guarantees. Well, with this patch, you can activate this patch, put this patch on, activate your own stem cells with 0 risks, 0 contraindications, nothing invasive, right? Nothing's entering the body, and of course, affordable. We're talking the price of a cup of coffee a day. This patch is cheaper than this bottle of sparkling water that I have right here. That is pretty amazing that I can put this on every single day and use this as a tool in my toolbox to keep my body healthy, to keep my body functioning young and youthful and correct, right? Because we know things get out of balance over time. Things get out of balance from our mind, our thoughts, from accidents and injuries and lifestyle choices. So this is a tool in my toolbox to be able to help keep that body in balance. Now, when I say no contraindications, I had mentioned earlier, if you're on medications, check with your doctor, your practitioner. I'm definitely not here to talk to you about your meds and what you're on. I would hope your conversation would be to your doctor. I would like to come off these medicines. I don't want this pill, this pill, this pill, this pill, or this one. I don't want any of that. And I'm going to use this patch and we're going to monitor these meds. So hopefully my goal is to come off of them over time. You'll work with your doctor on that. But we do find that there's no side effects with the patches. There's no contraindications because there's nothing entering the body. And this is also what I love about the patch. I don't have to worry about my digestive system. Gut health is all the rave right now, right? Everyone's talking about their gut health and how poor it is, and because of the food choices or the environmental pollutants, the toxins have messed up their gut, their mind, right? Their thoughts have messed it up, whatever it may be. But that means that those supplements or even meds are not able to properly be assimilated, digested, absorbed. And so, are they really giving you the full ability that you can have from them? Well, when you use the patch, we bypass all of that. This literally works at the speed of light, with light inside of your body, creating change, creating that biochemical reaction, starting at the mitochondria, increasing that ATP, that energy output from your cells. And that cell to cell communication revs up. And as we stay hydrated with our water, make sure that you're super hydrated with your patching. So your body needs water. These cells need water for the conductivity. This is light technology. We need water for that conductivity in our cells. So drinking at least half your body weight in ounces every day is very important. Making sure you're getting some kind of electrolytes in the morning when I'm making my smoothie or making my breakfast, whatever it may be, depending on what time I eat. I always use a little bit of Celtic sea salt and take one crystal and put it on my tongue before I drink a glass of water to bring all the water into my tissues and into my cells. It's so important that you stay hydrated and know that when you patch, that's going to make you feel the best and you're going to have the best results if you are staying hydrated during your patching. And remember, you're wearing it for 12 hours, you take it off and you throw it away and you do it again the next day. So that's kind of our basics of the patch. I definitely want to be able to take some time to answer your questions that you have. If you have questions, please type them in the chat. We've got about 30 minutes, but remember, there's about, like I said, 350 of you on here. Make sure that your questions are geared towards symptoms that you're experiencing and not diseases. If you reference a disease, I'm going to reference back to a system or an organ in the body because we want to make sure that we are staying compliant. So how do SP6 and Alavita patch each differ and how they help the organs? That's a great question. So Alavita activates a peptide in your pineal gland, the epithalamine peptide. That is in the center of your brain, the pineal gland. So it's activating that peptide. That peptide has a chain reaction of events that take place when you activate it and elevate it to reduce oxidative stress, inflammatory stress, to be able to help with the skin, all of the itises, all the things going on with the skin, collagen production, lines, wrinkles, spots, circles, all the stuff, and be able to help with because it's activating in the brain, your cognition and helps increase that melatonin a little bit. But we do find from our studies that Alavita helps the organs as well too, specifically like the female and male reproductive organs. And so it's because of that pathway of that peptide that Alavita is impacting the organs the way it is. And then we see SP6 activated a different way. And so it's impacting the organs differently. SP6 is a patch that you use during the day or night, whatever works best for you, but it is placed on the inside of the left ankle or leg on what's called the spleen meridian. SP6 stands for spleen. We don't activate a peptide with SP6. It's using those acupressure points on the body, whether it's stomach 36 or the different ones right there on the spleen meridian that are in. We have a booklet, instruction booklet, and this booklet shows you the exact locations that you can apply this on the spleen meridian. Pick one, any one, and stay with it. But when you do that, that is a totally different process. And so it's impacting the organs in a different way than Alavida. Okay, so we're using each patch activates a different peptide or a different biochemical reaction in the body, triggering beta oxidation to be able to do what it does. So they all work individually and independently, but yet they all can work synergistically as well too, impacting that area in different ways. So a lot of you will ask me questions about, what do I need for cardiovascular health? What patches? Well, I'm not going to just tell you one patch. I mean, I can say X39. Use X39 until you cross all the things off your list and you improve everything you want to with your cardiovascular system. But if you say, give me all the patches you have, what impacts my cardiovascular system? You can go back to my YouTube. A year ago in February, I spent an entire 4 weeks on heart health. I interviewed a cardiologist. And he talked about the patches for your heart. I interviewed an acupuncture doctor, and she also talked about how you can use these different patches to benefit your heart, as well as I did some screen sharing PowerPoints and things like that. But basically, there's 4 patches that are really going to impact your heart, but differently. X39 is one of them, X49 is the other, Eon is another, and carnosine is another. All 4 of them have, we can see from our clinical studies, a positive impact on your cardiovascular system, but in different ways. They're activating different peptides to different things in the body, right? Trey's really big into peptides, which is not surprising. He's been using 39, 49 carnosine for the last 2.5 years now. And so he's really, really into all different types of peptides, is working out, bodybuilder in the gym. That's all the rave, right? He comes in the other day and he's listening to YouTube. And I said, is that Andrew Huberman? He said, yes. Why? I'm like, what is he talking about? I listen to him almost daily about something. He's like, he's got a panel. He's talking peptides and they're talking about the Wolverine stack and BP157 and TB5 and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I know all these peptides, but he's learning even deeper into them because they're so restorative and so healing. But again, he's like, Mom, I'm not doing needles. I'm not injecting myself. I'm like, well, we aren't either, right? We're putting the patch on. We're causing that to happen inside, but each patch does something different in a non-invasive way, which is absolutely fantastic and super expensive, super cheap and affordable, right? Not expensive like those injections. Can you explain why we throw the patch away after 12 hours? So here's the thing. Everyone wants to know this. 20 years of clinical studies and research. 20 years. If the most beneficial thing to do would be put this patch on in the morning when you get up and not take it off, the research would have shown that, right? It would have said, oh my gosh, leave it on 24 hours, leave it on 48 hours. I had a lady last week when I did an event last Monday in Tampa, and she said a couple years ago, someone introduced her to the patch and she put it on and it stayed on. And she left it on for 2 months, the same patch. She had no idea. Look at my Zooms like, woo! I swear I don't plan that. It just happens on its own. I'm sure you guys saw those balloons too. Or was that just me? I don't know. But anyway, sometimes you see it. Sometimes I always see it. Yeah. Beverly sees it. Elizabeth sees it. I can see some people are seeing it. But anyways, you guys, she said, I left it on for 2 months. No one told me to take it off. And it was sticky. It stayed. And I said, then what happened? And she said, well, Someone else introduced me to the patch last year, and I said, not interested. That doesn't work. And she asked her why it didn't work. She said, well, I had it on 2 months. I didn't feel anything. And she said, the same patch for 2 months? It doesn't work that way. It's 12 hours. So your body needs a break. We need a break from the patch. All the things that I told you this patch does when you put it on, the activating, the elevating, the biochemical responses, that chain reaction of all that stuff, increasing energy, that ATP, body needs a break. It needs a break to rest, to relax, to digest, to repair, to regenerate. 12 hours is activating, it's signaling these molecules in the body. 12 hours off, the body gets to repair. And what happens is it doesn't get used to the signal. These lights that I have on right now here in the office, if I left these on all the time, they're going to burn out, aren't they? If I never turn these off 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, they're going to be gone. I'll be changing light bulbs left and right. So our body is like that too. It's like, not interested, not going to function, not going to work anymore. That's exactly what happened to this lady. She put it on and left it on and didn't get any results. So more is not better. Less is best. 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Give your body that time to repair, okay? Okay, so let's see what else we have here. Scroll down through. I'm so glad you guys are getting these books and reading this information too. I love it, I love it, I love it. It means we're learners, right? We're learning, we're growing, we're helping other people. That's what it's all about. Can someone, oh yes, please put the book titles in. I appreciate that. Dr. Lauren Picart, P-I-C-A-K-A-R-T, and then Dr. John Harmon, Jon, if you're looking on Amazon, okay? How can patches layered will allow both patches to work? How can layered patches allow both patches to work? Won't the first patch block the light to the second patch? That's a great question, Bob. And so here's how this works, because some patches we talk about stacking, where you can stack one on top of the other. Sometimes you'll see that. And then other times we call it kissing. Let me show you the difference, okay? So this is, I'm just grabbing another patch here really quickly. So this is what we call kissing, where you put one patch and then the other patch below it. They're kissing each other, okay? Stacking means you take one patch and put it on top of the other patch. So there's actually two patches here. Don't know if I'll get them back apart right now. I've got the stickier one on top. But either way, it doesn't matter. Both patches are working at the same time, whether you're stacking them or whether you're kissing them. Yeah, they're not coming off right now. I don't have time for that. We'll stick them both back on. I'm getting 2 eons right now. I'm getting double the anti-inflammatory response and the calm nervous system response. Dean likes that. Nothing wrong with it. So it's not one doesn't block the other. Even if it's 2 different types of patches, you can take 2 patches and hold them in your hands. Like here's a different patch, and both of them are being activated. So it doesn't matter if they're on top of each other. Your body's light is throughout your whole entire body. And so it's activating systemically inside of your body with whatever that wavelength of light is doing. One's not blocking the other. You can put 2 or 3 or 4 patches on top of each other. It's like sticking 2 or 3 or 4 patches in your pocket. Oh, I've got a couple extras. I'll put them in here. You're like, woo, I'm activating them all. So it's totally fine if you want to stack them. If it's easier for you to put one on top of the other, you can totally do that. So, can you print the chats? No, I don't know a way to print a chat. I'm not really for sure on that part of it. Maybe you mean charts. We do have actual instruction booklets, and you can go log into your account and you can print these off. Maybe you meant charts. Maybe you think this is a chart. You can clarify that. How much is a crystal of salt in a measurement that you put under your tongue? So I actually put it on top of my tongue. 1 crystal is a crystal. So I use Celtic sea salt. It's in a blue bag. It's super healthy. It's got 92 trace minerals. It's like one of the healthiest salts on the planet. And 1 little baby crystal, like just 1 little teeny tiny piece. I end up usually with a couple of them on my tongue. Honestly, it doesn't matter. But just 1 of those on top of your tongue, and then drink your glass of water. And that is going to help to pull the salt into your tissues, into your cells, to really hydrate you. You do not want to sleep with the X39 on. So X39 is for activating, elevating energy, right? That's what it does. X49, same thing, activating, elevating, increasing energy. Energy enhancer, energy increasing, stamina, endurance. Those are daytime patches. You want to take them off in plenty of time before bed. So patch 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Worst case scenario, 8 to 8. But you want to give your body a couple hours in the evening so that way you can get to that rest, relax, and digest state before it's bedtime. Can you tell me about involuntary shaking of the hands, mostly older people? I love that, Sherry. That was a great way to explain that. So when we look at the neurological system in the body, something neurologically is going on, right? That goes to our brain. So think about what patches are going to benefit my neurological system. Of course, X39. Absolutely, Eon. Eon bringing the nervous system into balance helps bring things into balance neurologically. X49 is a fantastic patch if your hands are shaking as well too. I know on that Heart Healthy video that I did with Dr. Pamela last year, she was talking about actually using X49 on the area below the sternum, but above the belly button to really help. That's what she uses with her clients that have shakes. So that was a place that she said she was seeing results from. Not a place that's in the instruction booklet, but just one she recommended. And of course, carnosine. Carnosine has great neurological benefits. We can see that balancing left brain and right brain hemisphere, improving your cognitive function, your memory, your executive functions in the brain. So I would definitely use those patches for sure. How long did it take me to get to the biological age of 25? That's a great question. Well, I never had this is going to be funny to you guys. So at age 47, when I found out about patching, I had never had blood work in my life. Never. I hadn't been to a doctor. I've been to a chiropractor my whole life. I had never had any need for blood work. I didn't have any need for blood work at 47, but all of a sudden everybody was talking about their biological age. And I'm like, I don't even know what that is. So I went to a naturopathic doctor here in town. She's no longer in this area, but I said, I want to get my blood work done. I want to look at everything in my blood like my friend did, Laura. And so she pulled like 7 pages worth of reports on all my biomarkers. And at that time, she said, she came back in, we were talking. She thought I was wanting to learn to see if I was going into menopause. And she said, well, you're nowhere near menopause. She said, you're 30-ish, 31, 32 years old. And I said, no, I'm 47. And she said, well, your blood work tells me you're in your early 30s. There's no way you're in your late 40s and you're nowhere near menopause. And I said, okay, cool, thanks. And just went about my way. Well, last summer, I went online to a place called lifeforce.com. And because I love Tony Robbins, always have, and I read his book a couple years ago, and he came out with a service that actually people will come to your house, draw your blood, 10 minutes later, they're out the door, and they send you a report through email on your biomarkers. And so those biomarkers are what showed that I was in my mid-20s. So that was after patching 2 years. So 2 years of patching, half my age. I know that's not just me, because Laura had the same thing done. She's 61 and her biomarkers show she's about 27. So, and I know Leah's had it done. Many people have had their blood work done and tested that as well too. But I never tested in the beginning, so I don't know where I started, but I tested about after 6 months in. What patch would be good for helping a 38-year-old who has a full hysterectomy, now in menopause, body doesn't make hormones anymore, have to take a pill, bodies went downhill within 2 years? Kelly, as I was explaining earlier with the reproductive system, the endocrine system, those organs, using your X39 and your Eon would be fantastic, but adding in that Alavita and SP6 are really going to address those key issues there as well too. So I would definitely use those 4 patches. If you lost your voice, I'm not really for sure, Terry, what that would mean, but you could definitely use your glutathione, X39, your Eon, your glutathione up here on your throat, maybe on your thymus area. Is there a patch good to help with kidneys and the pancreas. So our X39 Eon is great for the organs. Carnosine is so good for the pancreas. That balances that glycation process. And you know, if your blood sugar spikes, you're aging. So using that would be great, and glutathione as well. Those 3 patches are called Y-Age. And that's the first 3 patches that David invented for anti-aging purposes. And so those are really big on the organs. Okay. All right. So what patches besides SP6 do not stimulate a peptide? Oh, that's a great question. So energy enhancer, that's the first patch David invented. That patch triggers beta oxidation, which means turns body fat into fuel. So does Ice Wave. Both those patches work by triggering body fat into fuel. Energy, opening up energy channels, that beta oxidation. Silent Nights works with the acupuncture points to help increase your melatonin and to help balance your circadian rhythm. So that patch, and then of course, like I said, SP6. The rest of the patches activate peptides, different peptides. Okay. Can you wear Ice Wave longer than 12 hours? So every patch is recommended 12 hours on, 12 hours off. If you have pain, say you have pain during the day, I would use your X39, your Eon, glutathione, and then at night, I would put on your Ice Wave. If that doesn't do it for you, maybe switch it up a little bit. Try your glutathione and Eon at night. Do your Ice Wave and X39 during the day. But what we find is you don't have to continue using Ice Wave on a daily basis. It's your quick fix. It's your get rid of the pain right now for the next week or 2 weeks until that X39 and Eon kick in, or even X49 has helped with pain reduction. Until those patches kick in and really start to help get to the root of the problem, just be patient, but Ice Wave can help you. Just 12 on, 12 off. Keep that in mind, okay? Knee pain specifically, we can definitely address knee pain. We were talking about this earlier today as well too. So if you have pain on your knees, put your X39 and your Eon on the pain spot. There's nothing wrong with putting the patches wherever you want. You don't have to. We can't say that if I put, this right knee hurts, if I put X39 on, it's going to get rid of the pain. It's not what it's designed to do, but sometimes elevating GHK will help reduce pain. Same thing with Eon. Sometimes reducing inflammation by putting it on the area. Sometimes we see, not always, but sometimes we see pain reduction. David likes to share that if you put an Eon on the inside of the knee and a glutathione on the outside of the knee, that sometimes helps with pain reduction as well too. And then of course, as I mentioned with the Ice Wave, using the Ice Wave, that 2-patch system to be able to open up those energy channels, this is what's going to get rid of pain on the spot. And I say sometimes with the other ones because it's not their main function. Okay, they have other main functions, but sometimes they do help. What patch would best help with balance? I would definitely use your X39 and your Eon and Energy Enhancer. We really see Energy Enhancer help with that balance, being able to open up the energy channel so everything is flowing in the body. You can put Energy Enhancer in different locations. They have locations suggested in the instruction booklet. You can see right here, white right, tan left. This would be the right side of the body. You would use the tan one on the left arm. Same thing here, knee, ankle, or wrist. But you can move the energy enhancer in different places. David always shares that he uses energy enhancer on the bottoms of his feet. These are my feet. The ball of my foot is K1 acupuncture point. He puts a set down here and he puts a set on his low back. So there's a set in his upper body and his lower body to really get the energy moving and flowing and impact that mitochondrial function. So you can do that for sure. Would you choose carnosine or SP6 for pancreas, kidneys? I know both are good for organs. I always pick carnosine first. For my PhD in integrative medicine, in functional medicine, sorry, that one had a class, anti-aging medicines. And chapter 1 was carnosine. And when you look at the glycation process, carnosine balances that. It's just what it does. You can research it as a nutrient. Carnosine is going to balance the glycation process. So carnosine elevates our own carnosine. Carnosine is an antioxidant. It does a lot, huge benefits for the organs, specifically the pancreas. I always go there first. Now, I do know that SP6 balances the endocrine system, and pancreas is a gland in the endocrine system. So those organs and glands do a lot to keep the hormones in balance. But SP6 can work too. I just have always used carnosine. That's what I heard David talk about from day one, and I know he's talked about SP6 as well too. You can use both of them. They both work differently. So little sores where your patches are. So if you find that if you take your patch off and there's a little rash or a little area that's disturbed or not, what it looked like when you put the patch on, pick a different spot. Some of us, I was talking to some redheads this weekend and we were talking about skin sensitivities. Some of us have more sensitive skin than others. I don't. My skin is not sensitive at all, but I know my husband's is. He's blonde and he has more freckles and his skin is more sensitive than mine. So he puts the patches, like he'll stick them even on his side, on his hip area. My son patches, even though his skin looks like mine. He likes to patch on his skin area because he has more of the sensory types of things. He doesn't want the patch to curl or twist or bend or fold on his skin. So his hips are the areas where he puts his 3949 and carnosine. But if you find that there's something not normal underneath your skin, don't put it in that spot anymore. Pick a different spot. Put it on the bottom of your foot. Pick that K1 acupuncture point. There's nothing on the bottom of your foot that's going to be sensitive for sure, right? So just pick a different spot and not use that spot again. If someone left their patches in the car, would that be a bad idea? Yes, that would be a very, very bad idea. If you did that and those patches were left in there more than maybe a day at the most, they're not going to be effective anymore. So I definitely would not leave them in the car or the mailbox. When each patch is angled at different wavelengths. I'm not for sure exactly what that question means. Marianne, maybe you can reword that. So it makes a little bit more sense. Any of us can be hypersensitive to adhesives. Yeah, anybody can. Definitely. It's not just for certain people or skin types or hair colors. I didn't mean that at all. But yeah, we're all different in our skin and what we're sensitive to and not. So what patches would be good for pockets in your gums? Definitely X39. We can see great benefits when people go back to their dentist and they're like, whoa, even if they're just using X39, we can see benefits in the pockets. We've had lots and lots and lots of testimonials with that. Well, when you look at your lungs for breathing issues, definitely X39, Eon, bring the inflammation down in the body, key right there. And then also the energy enhancer. Energy enhancer opens up the lungs, helps to turn over that lymphatic system, gets things moving in the lungs. So that would be very important using the lung points up here. When we look at our telomeres, so two things, Karen, carnosine protects your telomeres. That's a given fact. You can, again, Google carnosine as a nutrient. It's going to protect the telomeres you currently have. Telomeres are the little end caps on the ends of your chromosomes. So if you picture like a pencil and you have an eraser and that eraser goes down, when the eraser's gone, that metal's hitting the paper, you're dead. So telomeres determine the length of your life. And so to protect them, you want carnosine. To help them to grow, you want aloe vera. Aloe vera impacts, like I said earlier, that epithalamic peptide, which is responsible for the telomerase, the enzyme that's helping to grow those telomeres. All right, so number 1 and number 2 patches to choose for a broken bone, X39 and Eon for sure. How many patches can you use at once? Well, Jane, there's daytime patches and there's nighttime patches. So you can't mix those two. You can use as many patches as you want, different types, but X39, 49, and Energy Enhancer are day only. Aloe Vera and Silent Nights are nighttime only. The other patches can be daytime or nighttime, so you use whatever works best for you. So on any given day, I'm using X39, glutathione, Eon, carnosine, X49, Energy Enhancer. Take them all off, throw on an Alavita at night. I've never used Silent Nights. I don't have any issues sleeping. My head hits the pillow. I'm out. That's just me. But I always use Alavita at night. I don't use any other patches at night. I just never have, but you can. It's your personal choice. But definitely know that each patch is working individually, and definitely they can work synergistically. Like our 39 and 49 are crazy insane what happens when you put those two together. Can children and pregnant women use the patches? That is a personal choice. I asked David that this weekend. I said, what about kids? And he said, if they can have a conversation with you and tell you how they're feeling or if they're noticing anything, sure, go ahead and patch them. There's nothing in the patch to harm them. There's nothing that can do anything bad to them at all. And I said, well, the first person I patched was my nonverbal child that was 16 years old that had been in a wheelchair for, over 12 years, and she couldn't communicate with me at all. But she's the first person I patched. And he's like, well, and there's that. So personal choice. What you do, you're the parent. But again, remember, this is all about balance, bringing the body into balance. This is not McDonald's food. This is not a Domino's pizza. This is not a toxic chemical that's under the cabinet or that you're bathing the child with, or, a cleaning product that they're sitting on the toilet and it's been cleaned with bleach. There's nothing harmful entering the body. There's nothing entering the body at all. And there's nothing bad that can happen. So you kind of have to look at, what is this doing? How can it help? And I know people always ask, but the first person I patched was Taylor. The second person I patched was Trey. Then Brent and I got to patch. I patched my kids first. Those were the two most important people for me to patch because I know the power of stem cells. And I used to take my child to Mexico and to California and to Cincinnati, Ohio to do all different kinds of stem cell treatments and therapies. That's how powerful stem cells are. I've been researching them for 22 years. I banked both of my kids' cord blood. So I did the invasive, could be side effects or risks types of stem cell injections with Taylor because the benefits would outweigh the risks in most cases, and they always did for her. We did a lot of different things, but they cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. And this is so simple and easy, accessible and affordable, non-invasive, and no side effects, right? You can use Eon day or night, personal choice, but X39 is daytime only, absolutely. Can you use just the white patch of Ice Wave? No, it will not work. Ice Wave is designed to use the white patch on the right, the tan patch on the left. And I'll go ahead and put these in the chat for you guys just so you can have them. But David has done 5 different videos. These videos are about 4 minutes each. They are all on Ice Wave, how to use it, where to apply it, what are the different ways you can apply it. And so watch those when you get a chance. Go ahead and copy and paste them and save them because we've got about 1 minute before we've got to hop off here at night at 9 o'clock. So just know that you need to have the white and the tan in order for this to work. It does not work by itself with just the white or just the tan, okay? David mentioned this weekend, Dawn, that for hearing, glutathione is a fantastic patch for hearing. So your X39, your Eon, and your glutathione. And Eon can be day or night. It doesn't matter. Either one is perfectly fine with you. So last question before we end up for the night. What patches would you use if someone's had a stroke? And again, going back to the brain, X39, X49, Eon, and carnosine. Last one, I'm going to answer one more question. So the last question is glutathione. Why is glutathione not worn every day? I wear glutathione every day. That's a personal choice. Some people that are not on their detox game are going to detox probably too fast and have maybe some symptoms or side effects from their body detoxing if you use glutathione every day. Glutathione is elevated with the patch because it activates your own glutathione, elevates your own over 300%, sustains it for a 24-hour period. So using it every day would give you plenty of your own glutathione elevated for a 24-hour period. For me personally, I know the blue zones and the oldest people on the planet have the highest level of glutathione. And when you look at the toxins we are bombarded with every single day, from our environment, from our food, from our water, even the best, purest everything, personal care products, cleaning products, everything. You're still breathing the air. You're taking in toxins, and glutathione helps to neutralize those daily and eliminate them from your body. So for me, knowing that the oldest people on the planet have the highest level and knowing that we're bombarded by toxins, I want my glutathione level elevated every single day. I just put the patch on and let it do its magic, right? So thank you all for being here this evening. Thank you for all of our guests, everyone that has joined. If you have questions, please get back with the person that invited you. We're all connected. We're happy to help in any way, and know that we are here to help you and support you in your journey with LifeWave. And we look forward to hearing your successes. I'll see you all here on Tuesday, same place, same time next week, 8 p.m. Eastern. So thank you all and have a